David shows up at 7:42 every morning. 12 minutes early, same coffee, same desk. He never misses a deadline. He answers Slack at 9 p.m. He covers for Greg when Greg has a thing. He trains the new hires nobody else wants to train. His boss calls him the backbone of the team. His paycheck doesn't agree. In 4 years, David has gotten one promotion. One. His title changed. His salary went up 6%. Meanwhile, Tyler, the guy hired 2 years after him, the guy who leaves at 4:58 sharp, just got bumped to senior, 28% raise. David doesn't understand. He thinks he just needs to work a little harder. He's about to learn that's exactly what they want him to think. Today, you'll understand exactly why being the reliable one is quietly making you broke, what it's actually costing you in dollars, what the data shows about high performers, and how the people who quietly win at work do something completely different. This isn't about working less, it's about understanding the game. Here's the truth nobody tells you in your one-on-one. Being reliable is a tax. Being indispensable is leverage. There's a difference, a huge one. Reliable means they can count on you to absorb the work. Indispensable means they can't replace you without bleeding. Reliable employees get more tasks. Indispensable employees get more money. Think of it like a vending machine. The machine that always works gets used the most. Nobody fixes it, nobody upgrades it, nobody even thinks about it, until it breaks. That's how companies treat their reliable people, as infrastructure. This isn't a feeling, this is documented.
The pattern has a name. Organizational researchers call it performance punishment. It works like this. High performers get rewarded with more work, often without promotions or raises. Their reliability becomes the reason they're stuck. Look at the numbers. A pay scale study of over 160,000 workers found that 33% of employees denied a raise were given no reason at all. No explanation, just a no. If you're loyal, that no usually sticks. But here's where it gets brutal. According to Resume Builder, 80% of workers between 18 and 40 who changed jobs in the last 5 years saw a salary increase. 20% saw their pay jump by $50,000 or more. Read that again. 20%, $50,000, just for leaving. Now compare that to internal raises. The average raise for staying at the same company hovers between 3 and 5%. That's barely cost of living. In real terms, you're earning less every year you stay loyal. There's more. A 2024 SHRM report found that 34% of American workers say they get no recognition for their contributions. None. And the APA's Work in America survey shows engagement has dropped to its lowest point in a decade. Only 30% of workers feel engaged. The reliable ones are the ones still showing up, still covering, still smiling in the Tuesday stand-up. They're not just disengaged, they're being financially harvested. Meet Mark and Daniel, both 26, both software engineers, both start at the same fintech company in Austin, same salary, $85,000 a year. Mark is the dream employee. He stays late, he fixes other people's code, he becomes the guy you call when production breaks at 2 a.m. His manager loves him, HR sends him a gift card every December. In year 3, he asks for a raise. He gets 4%. In year 5, he gets promoted to senior. Salary, $112,000. In year 8, lead engineer, $128,000. In year 10, $141,000. Daniel plays a different game. He does his job well, not heroically, well. He leaves at 5:30. He builds skills the market is paying for. He keeps a LinkedIn profile updated. Year 2, Daniel jumps, $98,000. Year 4, jumps again, $124,000. Year 6, $155,000. Year 8, $182,000. Year 10, $215,000. Same starting point, same skill level, same 10 years. Difference in year 10 alone, $74,000. Difference in total earnings over the decade, roughly $480,000. Mark didn't lose because he wasn't talented. Mark lost because he gave his employer no reason to fight for him.
So, what do you do, specifically? If you're in your 20s, stop optimizing for being liked. Optimize for being valuable. Document every result, every dollar saved, every metric you moved, every system you built. Keep a folder. This is your leverage file. Interview at least twice a year. Even if you love your job, you need to know your market price. Build one external skill your company doesn't own. Not their tools, not their process, yours. If you're in your 30s, audit your role. If you're carrying 30% more work than your title says, you're being quietly promoted without pay. That's a red flag, not a compliment. Negotiate based on data, not loyalty. Walk in with market numbers, Glassdoor, levels.fy, LinkedIn salary. Set a hard rule. If you don't get a meaningful raise in 18 months, you start interviewing. No emotion, just math. Your leverage isn't years, it's the specific outcomes nobody else in the building can deliver. Make those outcomes visible to your boss, to your boss's boss, to people outside your company. And start thinking about optionality, consulting, a side practice, an equity position somewhere. The goal isn't to quit, it's to be in a position where you could. Across every age, automate at least 15% of your income into low-cost index funds. Because the real leverage isn't your job, it's not needing it. Remember David? He's still at the same desk, still 742, still covering for Greg. Last quarter, he found out the new hire he trained makes $18,000 more than him. David finally understood. The system wasn't broken. It was working exactly as designed. His reliability was the product. His silence was the price. So he started building his leverage file, quietly. He took a recruiter call he would have declined a year ago. He stopped saying yes to everything. He didn't quit in anger. He just stopped being free. Because here's what nobody tells you about being the reliable one. Loyalty without leverage isn't a virtue. It's a discount you give them on your own life.